All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutation to Luck Akim in the four corners, pushing truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. Shalom. Uh, Up a little bit early than I would like to be. I'm looking through text messages. I got a text message from one of the head brothers of our camp, and it's good news. This is prophecy being fulfilled before our eyes. It says, this is apnews.com. It says White House unveils $2.5 billion emergency coronavirus plan. Now, $2.5 billion, they're taking this serious. That's something that, Babylon, these are the plagues that are, going to hit Babylon. And they're taking preventative and precaution measures. That's beautiful. Now they got to, use money in their budget, to defend a disease. This is starting article says Washington AP. The White House on Monday sent lawmakers an urgent $2.5 billion plan to address the deadly coronavirus outbreak, whose rapid spread and threat to the global economy rocked financial markets. And that's the thing. Esau cares about money. Because here's the thing. Pharmaceutical is money. So they get, money for patents and stuff like this. They patent, diseases and stuff like that. And they get money for slanging medicine and stuff like that. But apparently, this actually is not one of those, how do I say it? In economic terms. It's not cost effective if they're that concerned about money. Because whatever money they stand to make from this coronavirus is damn sure is not covering the cost that it's, it's hurting the economy. So let's say it's making just throwing a number. Let's say it makes $200 million. But if it's costing, $1.3 billion, that's not cost effective. So this is serious right here. Because normally, like any virus, Esau stand to make money off it. He'll find a way to make money. But now it's fucking with his money. The White House Budget Office said the funds are for vaccines, treatment, and protective equipment. The request was immediately slammed by Democrats as insufficient and came as coronavirus fears were credited with Monday's 1,000 plus point drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and are increasingly seen as potential political threat to President Donald Trump. The request was released Monday evening and came as key government accounts were running low. The Department of Health and Human Services had already tapped into an emergency infectious disease rapid response fund and was seeking to transfer more than $130 million from the HHS accounts to combat the virus, but is pressing for more. Today, the administration is transmitting to Congress a $2.5 billion supplement funding plan to accelerate vaccine development, support preparedness and response activities, and to produce much needed equipment and supplies, said White House Budget Office spokesman Rachel Semel. We are also freeing up existing resources and allowing for greater flexibilities for response activities. So anything that cuts into Esau money, he gotta, stop that. Because if it's cutting into the Esau's money, Esau, because that's all Esau cares about is money, rulership, rape, robbing, killing, and murder. But by stealing and killing, that's how he gained the world. But how he sustains the world is with his fiat currency, with his money. Reading on, it says the administration is requesting 1.2 billion in new funding and wants to transfer 535 million more in funding from an Ebola preparedness account that's been a top priority of Democrats, and anticipate shifting money from the HHS accounts and other agencies to complete the 2.5 billion response plan. Now, see how this is actually causing them to rearrange other budgets. They're actually, and this is, we looking at it on a macro level. Let's look at it on a micro level. You live in a house. Let's say you make, 2,400 a month, and all of a sudden, you got your insurance rates double. Now you already on a tight budget. Now you got to rearrange stuff. You got to cut this off. No internet, cut off cable. Got to do all this extra stuff. That shit'll be, you really have to, rearrange. And that's what they're doing right here. America's already broke. So anything it had to do to, 1.2 billion, which might not seem like a lot considering how much debt America is in, but it's a lot because where are they getting it from? They pulling those resources from other budgets. Reading on, it says senators returning to Washington after a week-long recess will receive classified briefing Tuesday morning on government's coronavirus response, a Senate aide said. A spokeswoman for Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Richard Shelby, Republican Alabama, said the panel will take their input into account as we continue to do our due diligence to determine what additional resources are necessary. Democrats said the request was insufficient and that Trump's attempt to go after existing Ebola prevention funding was dead on arrival. All of the warning lights are flashing bright red. We are staring down a potential pandemic, and the administration has no plan. And this is where I'm getting to. Scriptures talks about, plagues. And, can't say for sure if this is going to be it. Can't say it's not going to be it. But this is something that's serious. Even if it's, controlled and it doesn't spread, we still know that this is still going to be other plagues going to come. But the thing is that, let's say Esau gets this under control. All this does is fuel his pride even more. That deceives his pride that, okay, we can outsmart God. He causes us problems, we fix him. He causes a disease, we knock it out. Yeah, and Most High likes to play like that. Gives you that false sense of security. I was referring to Obadiah, I think 1 in verse 3, where it says that pride in thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. So if they do, get this under control or don't, it still plays in the Most High hands. If they get this under control, kind of like Ebola, where it's actually, sustainable and it's not on a bright red risk, it's maybe on, orange or yellow or whatever. All that does is give Esau even more confidence. And on the thing is, the plague's still going to come. But this also lets you know that they're not prepared. It shows you a chink in their armor. It shows how vulnerable they are. All the nations are looking at this. Trust me, Russia, other countries are like, okay. Because another thing too is that who's to say, Other countries and other nations aren't engaging in biological warfare. Hmm? That could be a possibility. But they're seeing and watching how America is responding to this, and they don't even have a plan. I'm gonna read that again right here. It says we have a crisis of coronavirus, and President Trump has no plan, no urgency, no understanding of the facts or how to coordinate a response. Trump was a vocal critic of President Barack Obama's response to the 2014 Ebola scare, which barely touched the U.S., but was seen as a factor in the year's midterm elections, which restored control of the Senate to Republicans. Trump took to Twitter Monday to defend his record. The coronavirus is very much under control in the USA. We are in contact with everyone in all relevant countries. CDC and World Health have been working hard and very smart. Stock market starting to look very good to me, he tweeted. It says, among the needs is funding to reimburse the Pentagon, which is housing evacuees from China, who are required to undergo 14-day quarantines at several military bases in California. And that's, another thing. And Esau can use this as his advantage because he can take that to try to justify, putting people in concentration camps or we're quarantining you. Democrats controlling the House, wrote HHS Secretary Alex Azar earlier this month to request funds to help speed development of a coronavirus vaccine, expanded laboratory capacity, and beef up screening efforts at U.S. entry points. U.S. Appropriations Committee Chairwoman Nita Lowkey, Democrat New York, called the plan woefully insufficient. Despite urgent warnings from Congress and the public health community, the Trump administration took weeks to request these emergency funds. Let you know it's not a priority. Now, of course, we know Trump doesn't run things, but he still gets his orders from up top, and up top not concerned. The elites don't live in fucking America, so why would they fucking care what's going on? Reading on, it says their answer is to raid money Congress has designated for other critical public health priorities. Azar is slated to testify before the Senate Appropriations Committee on Tuesday, and the U.S. response to the outbreak is sure to be a major topic. The quickly spreading virus has slammed the economy of China, where the virus originated, and caseloads are rapidly increasing in countries such as South Korea, Iran, and Italy. Almost 80,000 people have contacted the disease, with more than 2,500 deaths, mostly in China. And it sounds to be like an airborne disease. Reading on, it says the United States, however, has had only 14 cases of disease spread across 7 states. In San Francisco, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi took a walking tour of Chinatown on Monday to let the public know the neighborhood is safe and open for business. That's the same thing what Obama did, with the Flint water crisis, which that's still not safe to drink. He went to Flint, took a press conference, took a drink of water and said, look, it's safe. Knowing good and damn well that wasn't no fucking Flint water. That was some fucking alkaline water from the fucking Fiji Mountains or some shit. Pelosi, a Democrat who represents the heavily Chinese American city, visited the Golden Gate fortune cookie factory, whose owner, Kevin Chan, says his business and others are down 70% since the outbreak of the coronavirus. 70% is a lot. That's damn near close to 100%. Come to Chinatown, Pelosi said. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there is concern about tourism traveling all throughout the world, but we think it's very safe to come to be in Chinatown and hope that others will come. My black ass won't be. Reading on, says in a statement Monday night, Pelosi called the president's request long overdue and completely inadequate to the scale of this emergency. She said the House would advance a strong strategic funding package that fully addresses the scale and seriousness of the public health crisis. One second. This is over here in Exodus. That basically concludes the article. This is Exodus 15 and 26. It says, I'll start with verse 25. I'll start with verse 24. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto Yahweh, and the Yahweh shewed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them. Verse 26, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh that healeth. The Most High does this. The Most High can use a man to invent a disease and do it, or the Most High could, spring a disease up himself. But either way, the Most High is doing it. Nobody can resist his will. And, the scripture says the angel will camp around them that fear the Most High, fear the Lord, fear Yahweh. So, you don't want to be one of those people that's touched by those diseases. But basically, it's coming. One of my favorite scriptures I'm going to end off on. Ezekiel 12, verse 25. Ezekiel 12, verse 25 to verse 28. It says, for I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. For in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, saith Yahweh Elohim. Again, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. And he prophesieth of the times that are far off. This don't seem that far off. We in the middle of it right now. And don't be surprised if you start seeing, brothers that fell out, all of a sudden make channels all again, have inactivity for like a year. Then all of a sudden they pop back up, Verse 28 says, therefore say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but Yahweh which I have spoken shall be done, saith Yahweh Elohim. So it's not going to be prolonged. It seemed like it is for us because we down here. We in the middle of it. It's like when you're doing time, an hour seems like eternity. But when you fucking getting a massage for an hour, that hour fly by. So it's a matter of perspective. But it ain't being prolonged. This thing is speeding up. On that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Continue to put curses on Babylon. May brothers get prepared for the Passover, and may Yahweh be with you. Shalom.